Hello, Eastern Oregon. This place is very different from Alaska. It is dry. There's 6-foot tall sage bushes. That's the biggest thing on the landscape other than me and my Sprinter van. It has been beautiful weather here. I've been parked up here at a place called Antelope Reservoir. Just right over there is Idaho. So I'm coming down the east side of Oregon, and I'm really excited because this is one of the blank spots on the map that I always talk about, places that I haven't been to that I want to go to. And so I'm doing a tour through here, and I'm going to work my way south, and I've got some really fun things to explore. So it's cool to see there is a bunch of Canada geese out there migrating south, and I feel like we're on the same trajectory because these guys probably came from up in the Arctic where I came from. They are making their way south just like me. Okay, here's a little community service announcement. Somebody thinks that a fire ring is a trash can. Now, if you burn your trash while you're having a campfire, then maybe that's okay. But just to put trash in a fire ring and leave it here, that's pretty sloppy. So I'm gonna pack as much of this out as I can. Whoever's doing this is pretty lame. I am gonna push off from here and keep going southbound. All right, I was driving through here and I looked on my Onyx off-road map that I was following, and it showed a hot spring. And I thought, maybe I should check it out. Now, I don't normally get too excited about hot springs. It's just kind of not my thing. But honestly, today, it sounds pretty cool, especially way out here in the middle of nowhere. Now, here is a spring right here. There's another one up there. You can see right here, the water is gurgling up. This is a small one, but it's forming a little creek here. And somewhere over here, there is a little pool of sorts. These springs are pretty evident just because it's all sagebrush around here. Then all of a sudden, there's kind of reeds, and the plant life just changes dramatically. And that's a sign that there's some water here, obviously, right? But this is a very volcanic area with a lot of springs, so if there's water, usually it's warm or scalding hot. I've been warned about a few of these. So there's a levee here. This looks like it's kind of man-made. Probably the cattle rancher who's around here pushed up all this soil at one point to form a little pool here so his cows had something to drink. I don't know that this looks like where I want to go swimming. All right, I think I'm gonna head back to the van and keep moving. There are a lot of springs around here though, so there's a good chance that I'll maybe be able to find something. Well, here I am. I made it to a place that is very different than Alaska. In fact, I don't think there's anywhere like this in Alaska. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Leave a comment below if you know of a place where there is a 6 by 12 mile long dry lake bed or a playa in Alaska. I would love to know about it, but me looking for contrast from coming to Alaska, then coming back down to the 48, my goal was to find cool places that were very different from where I'd been for the last couple of months, and I think I found one. Look at this. As far as I can see, it is flat as a pancake, and unfortunately, the one thing that it shares in common with Alaska is clouds. It's really cloudy today. I'm getting a little bit of sprinkles. Normally I would be really concerned being out on a playa like this with any sort of moisture coming, but I've been watching the radar and it doesn't look like it's gonna do anything more than a very, very light sprinkle. But here I am. I'm gonna spend the night right here. It's gonna be awesome. Look at this. Wow. Good morning, Alford Desert. I'm out here in the middle of this playa and it is so wild. Like the sun came up and I could just see it coming through the blinds, and I could just tell from the little crack I had in the bedroom window that I was in a very different place. Just the way the light was, and just looking out, it was just like nothingness for as far as I could see. And it's literally 12 miles that way is the other end of this giant lake bed. And you can drive as fast as you want out here. Not that I recommend it, because bad things do happen. People roll cars and things out here all the time going too fast. But it is a wonderful place to explore and just drive around out here in such a alien landscape. This reminds me of the time when Abby was maybe 10 and we let her drive by herself for the first time. And we were out in another playa like this, and we had our 4Runner at the time with us, and we turned her loose as a 10-year-old. Now, she knew how to drive. She knew with the brakes. She was actually a pretty good driver at 10. But she would drive around out here and go around these little bushes and practice parallel parking between two bushes that just barely fit the 4Runner. And she would just explore, and it was really neat to see her have that first sense of freedom with a vehicle, driving around in a place like this where there is absolutely nothing to run into. It's a wonderful morning. The light is beautiful. It's still low, and I'm really looking forward to looking around this area and exploring more. I literally just picked this spot here to camp. I was driving around exploring. I was like, okay, enough's enough. And I just parked, and this is where I've stayed all last night. I haven't heard another sound of human beings out here this whole time. I haven't heard a plane. I haven't seen another vehicle out here, and I feel like I have this massive place all to myself. All right, so I think it's about breakfast time, and then I've got a few Zoom meetings that I'm gonna do this morning, which, how cool is that, with Starlink in my van? I've got my Roam Rig lithium ion battery upgrade alternator. I have all the power I need. I have connection to high-speed internet. I have my whole computer photo video editing workstation here, my whole Apple suite, and I get to hang out somewhere beautiful like this and do work in the most unlikely place. So I'm pretty excited. Today's gonna be a fun work day, and it's just gonna be neat exploring this area a little more. All right, let's get to it. Good morning, Alford Desert Day 2. The sun is rising right now on the mountains. It is beautiful, and it's coming up over here. So there is like beautiful things to see in both directions. Gosh, I spent the night in the exact same spot as yesterday. Like I told you, I had some work to do, had a couple meetings that ended up turning into a very big project yesterday. And I just hung out here all day and worked, and it was so quiet. I saw one other car that drove off over here, and that was it all day long. So this is a place, if you're looking for some solitude, this is a good place to find it. Oh, made me a little nervous. About I don't know, 5 in the morning, I could hear a little pitter patter of rain on the roof of the van. And this is not the place you want to be if it's going to be wet. And I promptly jumped up, checked my radar app, and it showed just a tiny little bit of precip going off to the north. And I guess I was just catching a little bit of sprinkles off of that. There's supposed to be some rain tomorrow, which I knew that going into this, and I'm definitely going to be out of here by then. But that was kind of a good reminder to not get caught out here in the rain. If you follow what happened at Burning Man recently, where tons of vehicles got stuck out there, where they stayed, you know, thousands of people out there in a rainstorm, and it turned into a major mess and a lot of vehicles stuck and a lot of damage to the playa. I don't want to be that guy. So I'm going to get out of here probably here in just a little bit. I'm going to take off and keep exploring this area. And I'm going to get my other camera out and do some still photography while this light is so beautiful. What a cool place, the Alford Desert. Well, I'm impressed. I've been on a lot of playas before, but this one is really great. This is the Alford Desert. This is north, just a little bit of Fields, Oregon. If you can find that on the map and you want to come out here and check this out, there is tons of space for everybody. Now, I don't usually tell the world about campsites and things like that, unless you subscribe to our Patreon and you get our field guides, then you'll get some of that as well. But even some of the most best places and the ones that I feel like just need protection, because if they get much traffic, they're just going to get overloaded and probably closed down. I don't tend to share those with anybody. You know, I think that's part of the adventure, is discovering these places. But this is a place where there is room for everyone and we can all fit. And I don't see any issues here as long as everybody plays it cool and does not leave trash or human waste or do anything bad out here that would want to make the BLM close this down. But just coming out here and camping clean and driving around on the playa, I think that's fine. But other than that, this is a place, come check it out. I think if you're on your way to the Pacific Northwest, this is something you could stop in and get a little desert fix before you go and play in the big trees. Okay, I'm off from the desert here. I'm gonna keep exploring, working my way southbound.